This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
If you commit to something, do it. If you don't want to do it, say no. But if you say yeah and you committed to something, you got to do it. Stick it out. Do it.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
My rent is paid. I have a roof over my head. I'm married to the most amazing man in the world who cares about me and supports me, keeps me safe, and I don't know. I got it all.
It is the 28th of April, 2022. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
And we'll talk about that amazing man in just a minute. But just first, real quick, I want to talk about the UFAM rally. We're going to be there live, broadcasting live from the UFAM rally, which is the 19th of May in Lansing. And if you want to listen to it live, you're going to have to get the Spreaker app or listen to us on Spreaker. Marnie had a great idea that after every hour of broadcasting live, we stop it and then publish it to Spreaker, which sends it to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, the rest of them. Mm-hmm. So if that's how you normally listen, that's fine. That's cool. Listen behind if you want. But if you want to listen live, there's a link. If you have the 217 Recovery app, you've probably already seen it at the very top on the welcome page. It says Recovery, UFAM, Rally, Live. Click
on that.
And there's a link to the Spreaker, and you can just follow us on Spreaker or like us or whatever you're supposed to do there. Whatever you're supposed to do it. And that way you can follow along with the festivities and the fun. Mm-hmm. Unedited, live.
Real time.
Yeah, going old school with it. It'll be a lot of fun. I pray everything works.
I pray it's beautiful out.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was like, what if it rains and then like all the cords are wet and but be all right. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's in May. May flowers, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 19th of May, if you want to attend, it's in Lansing. It's at the State Capitol building. There's links to at 217recovery.com. There's actually a group. If you go to our webpage, which I've kind of redid a little bit, you can check out the team, which is the team consists of me, of course, Corey Winfield, Marnie Winfield, Tyrone Hatcher, and Justin Burke. And you can read a little bit about them and their bios. Marnie, you're still coming soon.
My bio?
Yeah. It's coming.
Because you don't know what to write about me.
No. Well, Tyrone wrote his, Justin wrote his, I wrote mine. I mean, I just copied mine from the old one.
Right.
But yeah, the site looks a little different. So check it out. Enjoy. But there's a link on there for more info. If you're with an organization and you're like, we work in recovery. Maybe we should be there too. I think it's like $100 or something, and get yourself a little table set up or whatever. And there's all that details online, and look for stuff from us on our social. Say how I say that on our social, posted on our social soon, just about the Spreaker stuff. So if you're driving right now or in the shower or taking a poop or whatever you're doing when you listen to the podcast, laying in bed, dreaming, just remember, yeah, I got to get up on Facebook and look for that link because they're going to send some stuff out. They said something, I don't remember.
And the 19th is a Thursday.
Yes. Yep. 10 a.m.
to 4
p.m. But I think we might start broadcasting live at like 9. Figure we're down there early, do a little shenanigans before the thing even kicks off.
It's a good idea.
Get people pumped, excited. So if you're driving there and you're like, oh my God, we're going to be there.
It's going to be a lot of people there.
Get to meet Marnie Winfield. Oh my God. Tyrone Hatcher. Oh my God. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tons of fun.
Yes. Back to our other subject though. Love. Oh, let's talk about it. Whoa.
That's how you feel about it?
Yeah. Let's start the show over. That's how I talk about it. No, it's the same color. Love. Yes. Love.
I love love.
Yeah. And not just in recovery, but just in general. Mm-hmm. Relationships are tricky as hell. And when we're in active addiction, it's tough. Because at least for me, I was selfish. Mm-hmm. It was all about me. Need my Corey time. Leave my house. I need to get drunk.
Yeah.
That was my thing. And relationships, weird. They didn't last very long.
I know.
Like I just, because I didn't really care. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Alcohol was the number one thing. And what I wanted was the number one thing. And that was alcohol. So that was number one over everything. So, you can't really start a relationship that way.
And if you're living an unhealthy lifestyle, the chances of you being in a healthy relationship are pretty much slim to none.
Yeah.
Because if you're not caring about yourself, you can't care about anyone else.
I was talking to a guy today. I had to drive him to Great Lakes Recovery.
You talk about love.
Sault Ste. Marie. I did a little bit. I talked about our relationship and how it kind of started and how I shot you down.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, no, but it was like when I told you that, I was worried about, messing with your sobriety, and I didn't want to mess that up, breaking your heart or something, and you were like, I don't know who you think you are, but yeah, you're not going to mess with my sobriety. But that's what I knew. Like, oh, hold on a minute. Let me revisit this here, because that was perfect. And I wanted somebody who would worry about themselves, because I can't help you. I can't keep you sober.
Right.
Not physically, well, if I tied you up in the basement or something, but hey, what are you doing later? But no, I have to worry about myself, and by setting an example, maybe I can do something. But other than that, I can't make you do anything. If I'm sitting here telling you can't drink today, Marnie, well, that's stupid. You can do whatever the F you want, and you still can.
Right.
But you choose to be sober because you're more productive and you like to be in the present and whatever reasons you have. But I was telling the guy, though, about our love and our relationship and, just that part of it, and how I don't think I could date somebody who wasn't in recovery, because first of all, it's not fair for the other person. Like if someone doesn't have that addiction, doesn't have that problem with alcohol, for me to say you can't keep alcohol in the house, because I will drink it.
Right.
I will. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but if it's in that freezer, I will drink it. If it's in the cupboard, I will drink it. I will. And then I'll blame you for keeping it there.
Right.
So you can't have it. So it's just right there. It's not going to work. And luckily I found you. It's my love. And the fact that we've been through so much too, we can kind of learn from our past and take all the bad stuff that we don't want anymore. And when we see those qualities in people, just say, no, nope, I ain't gonna mess with that person. Oh, but Marnie, he's so cute and he's got a big old car. It just doesn't, like, nope, too many red flags. I don't want to mess with that. Been there, done that. And it was the same for me. It's like, oh, of course you got a big old bank account. And I'm like, I don't care. Don't care.
Right.
I see the red flags and I don't want to do that anymore. And to cut through the BS and to be good with myself is what I had to realize. And then I could start looking for other people, but to figure out what I even wanted, and I know I wanted to be treated well, and I wanted to treat somebody well, and I wanted it to go both ways, and not like sexual, but like just respect, and love and care. And I feel like I do have that, and I'm extremely lucky. And you could probably say the same thing, but I'm not going to put words in your mouth. But we had to go through the trash, though. And not call them exes trash. And not all your exes were trash either. You had that farmer guy, the hunter farmer guy.
When I was 16 years old.
Whoa. I don't know. I'm just not putting anybody in jail or anything. But no, just like, and again, I don't need to call my exes trash. I'm telling you, I had a lot to do with those relationships being horrible.
Right.
So don't get me wrong, but what I learned from the people because not everybody I dated for long either, but those things that I did see in people early on in my recovery too, that I didn't want, and so I just moved on, and then I met you, and you were there waiting for me. That's how Jesus does it for you.
Yeah.
Just keep doing the right things. You might be thinking, oh, but I'm never going to meet anybody. No, you will. She'll be right there waiting for you.
Well, the thing, okay, so circling back to what you said, and it wasn't that I said, I don't know who you think you are. That's not, I never said those words at all. But what I did was I was like, I appreciate you being concerned about me and where I'm at in my recovery. But like, I wouldn't be making an effort to try to date somebody who I do feel like would be good for me if I didn't know that I was strong enough regardless of what happened. You know what I mean? Like, so if this goes somewhere, that would be amazing. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to crash and burn. Like, otherwise I wouldn't even be trying it. And that's kind of where I was coming from. I wasn't like, you're not that special.
That's pretty much what you said. You're like, yeah, get over yourself, dude. But by that time, I'd already given you
Oh my goodness.
a perfect first date. What? I don't know why you keep hitting that button. You think I'm saying bad words. But we already had some sparks flying, and I was very scared and nervous. I didn't have time. Tons of things that we've said on this podcast before. But
Yeah.
But to just kind of let it sink into what you had told me, it was just like, like, okay, that's someone who is going to stand on her own. Because last thing I wanted to do was get into a relationship where they needed me to help them. Oh, I can't do it without you. I didn't need any of that being thrown at me. I had just gotten a year clean, and I can barely do it myself. I don't need other people. I can't. No one can do it for someone else. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, oh no. And I didn't know you that well at the time. So it was like, oh, when I heard that from you, it was just like, oh, like it just opened up. Like, I let my guard down a lot then.
Mm-hmm. Well, we both did. That was part of the reason that we were so attracted to each other, is because both of us were coming from a place where I didn't need to try to pretend that I was something else. And I didn't need to try to hide the things that I had done or been or what have you, because that didn't get me anywhere in the past. And I still think about my future as much as I did when I first decided to get sober. Like, I'm forward focused. Like, I'm not going to I can't dwell on the past. And yeah, it has a lot to do with, the literature that we read and how the whole kind of like not to, to be able to forgive yourself is a huge thing too, and the things you've done and work through those things. But in terms of my happiness, it was more focused on where I want to be and celebrating the person that I am today, not trying to make up for or hide or forget about the person that I used to be. And both of us were in that place. Like, both of us were not happy people where we had been in our lives or with the people that we were with. And so to find somebody who's kind of on the same page as you is a beautiful thing. And I've said this on the podcast before, is I feel the same way. I don't think I could be with somebody who was a casual drinker. I mean, I couldn't be with anybody who was an alcoholic, obviously. But in terms of being with somebody who didn't have a problem, a substance use disorder, I don't think that I would be able to be around them. And I do agree with you in terms of being fair. Like, I shouldn't have to tell that other person how they need to live their life because of the issues that I have. And so, but I love the fact that we both know where we've been, and we are so attached and celebrate where we are now and who we are together as a couple, as a married couple, and what the future holds for us. And that's exciting.
It really is.
It really is.
It's so exciting.
So exciting.
And we never got into like each other's past. Like, I wasn't trying to dig up your demons. You were trying to dig up mine.
No.
We were talking with Justin tonight in April, and like, my mom has video of me drunk. And sorry, Nico's on the board here. I love my kitty. But yeah, my mom has video of me drunk, and I was like, oh, you should show that to Marnie. And you're like, no, don't want to see it.
Right.
And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, why would you want to see that? Like, oh yeah, we get it. I was there. You've been there on a couch dying, like in a bed, wanting to just shut your eyes and never wake up. Like, I get it. I don't want to see you that way either. I believe you.
That's exactly it. That's what I was like. Trust me. I believe that it happened, and I believe it was awful, and I don't need to see it to know that he's been through, hell and back. But here we are now. I don't even need that. I don't even want that visual ever in front of my eyes.
Yeah. It's something that you shouldn't have to ever see.
Right.
You know? But I think sometimes people get caught up in, you know,
Look how far you've come. Like when people put mug shots up of themselves and stuff, which I get it. It's effective.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, look at the difference. But, you know, no thanks.
Yeah, if I was going to put a picture up, it'd be my hospital picture. Look like how it came from the woods
Right.
in Arkansas. Like I've been living up there with my kin.
Yeah, no, we had a really good conversation at dinner. And, you know, I don't think I do say this quite a bit when people ask me about our relationship, is that because like we're both these like gung-ho recovery people, right? Kind of like by default that we both are, you know, working in recovery, I guess, sort of. I mean, it's not like I made you or you made me. It was just how it worked out in our own lives. But I was telling him is that, you know, I don't think that you keep me sober. I know you don't keep me sober. I stay sober for myself. But I know for a fact that if I were to go back out, that we wouldn't be together. And that scares me. So I don't know if you want to call that, you know, because I wouldn't be the person that I want to be. And I wouldn't be the person that I would want you to want to be with. So for those reasons, we wouldn't work, you know, and that piece keeps me focused on staying sober, just like working in recovery, you know, things like that.
Yeah, I realized I had to work in it. Yeah, that was the only way I couldn't just, well, I'm going to go be a machinist or go back into radio. I wouldn't have worked. I would have started drinking again. Mm-hmm. You know, I would have played the part of, okay, I might go to a meeting here and there, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to open up about it at work. And, you know, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to do what I need to do. And somebody asks me for a drink, I might turn them down at first, but after a few weeks and after, come on, man, just come out for some drinks, man. Mm-hmm. All right. And I can control it because I didn't really drink when I was out, unless I was really drunk. And then someone was like, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, well, let's go. Great idea. Mm-hmm. So I could have a beer there, but the whole time I'd be there, I'd be thinking about what liquor store I was going to go to get the real stuff to really do some damage that night. And often, I don't stop, you know, it just does not stop. And I would have lost every job and it would have been right back to rehab and right back to the other stuff. So I knew that I had to put my heart and soul into it, and I had to make it a career. And starting the podcast was the number one thing. You know, I was like, all right, start the podcast, and boom. And that was so freeing for me because I had thought I was hiding it from everybody, you know, that I had a problem. And maybe I was just in denial. I don't know. But when I started the podcast and just threw it out there, I felt so free, you know, and I started with Rob and this other dude. And like, it was great because I had friends of mine that were doing it with me, you know, and it made it so much easier. And, you know, now I have my wife who does it with me when she wants to. And, and I have guests on, and it's freeing for me. And sometimes it feels like a pain in the ass, like, oh, we got to go do a podcast. But it's really not, you know, it's better than the alternative of, oh my God, I got to go to the hospital again. And not for my gallbladder, but because I'm dry heaving and I'm shaking and
yeah.
God, I don't ever want to feel that again. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you.
And also just about the relationship thing is that, you know, when we were unhealthy in our lives and we were with people that accepted that we were living an unhealthy lifestyle, you know, it was like, I want to say it was enabling, but it was, if there was somebody healthy in my life, they would never have let me get away with the crap that I pulled. They would be like, what are you thinking? Like, you're insane. You know, and those relationships just don't go anywhere. And that's the ones that you stay in because you stay in your disease like you stay in those unhealthy relationships.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't understand. And when you first meet somebody and they might be like, oh, you're in recovery. Oh, that's great. That's great. Or they'll be like, hey, that's great. That's great. However people talk. But they think that's great. And then, oh, wow, he doesn't treat me like shit. But then there'll be a part of them that'll be like, but I feel bad because I want to drink a little bit. And then, you know, maybe I'll just give him I've heard of this, you know, like somebody was like, oh yeah, she gave me a free pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next weekend, he just kept on his pass. And then the next, and it started to go into the weed and right back to the same old stuff. Because that's what happens. But he had said that, I was like, oh, God, it's a free pass. But then they don't understand that, and then they want to drink with you. And then they go, holy shit, what did I just do? Why did I even open that door? And everything was going great, and now it's my fault. And then they feel bad, so they don't want nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, the person who's now drinking again or using again, whatever it is, now they're being shunned, and now the relationship's over, and it's their fault again because, again, they're using, and they're pieces of shit, and they don't feel loved, and it's a horrible cycle. So be very careful, with any relationship you're getting into, but not saying that you have to be with somebody in recovery. If you're in recovery yourself, hey, man, this is your life. You figure it out. But I'm just saying what worked for me and what I've seen other people run into these problems. And if it's something that you can deal with, man, that's awesome. But for me, I couldn't. And it comes down to the end of the day, is that what can you deal with and what can't you deal with? And what do you want out of life?
Right.
But just be very careful, like I said, with what you're getting into and what other people might be thinking or might be wanting to think about your recovery. And maybe they don't know how serious it is, or maybe they just are so codependent that they can't let you breathe almost. Like maybe it goes the other way. Maybe they don't have any kind of substance use problem. Maybe they just have straight up codependency problem, and they're the one to be the ones that keep you sober.
Right.
And they're making sure that they plan out your route to work, that you don't drive by any liquor stores, or, like it could be that way, where someone takes it to the other extreme, where they're just, my mission in life is to make sure you don't drink ever again. And you're like, damn, I wasn't thinking about it until you started like beating it in my head. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just that people takes all kinds.
Yeah.
Takes all kinds of people in this world. But yeah, Justin and April are thinking about doing stuff with
taking their next step in their relationship.
Yeah,
maybe.
So congrats to them if they decide to do that. And Justin and see, we had never been married before, so
right.
it was like new to us. We're like, hell yeah, like finally finally someone say yeah. But no, it's not what we were thinking at all. But for them though, I think they both have been married. I'm not gonna say how many times, but a few probably. Not each of them, but I mean just combined, I think it's a few times. And that would make a person leery. And I think Justin at one point was just like, man, I don't know if this and that. And I was like, you can't hold her responsible for your past. And how much of that was your fault? You were in active addiction, bro. Like how much of that was your fault? Yeah, but my ex and this and that. Okay. You're not trying to get hooked back up with your ex, are you?
Right.
And no, but she's an ex for a reason, and just keep it there and move forward and enjoy what you do have with the person that you're with,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And experience life. And even if you don't want babies, try to make them. It's fun. Is your dad listening still?
Sometimes.
I think our parents all gave up on us.
No.
My mom did. She said that. She was done.
No,
She's
still
done
listens.
with me. I don't think she does. She said she was done. But I did unblock her from my text messaging.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, my step grandpa's not. Cancer sucks, man. And it's sad. It's like, the years growing up, and I say he's my step grandpa, but he was like my grandpa. He was always there and stuff. But like, it's just sad.
Yeah.
To see the end of life and just how fragile it can get. And a slip and fall in the bathroom could be it for some people, and you kind of experience some of the same thing with your family stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, and if you have somebody who's older than Nico, as I'm talking about older stuff, she's older Kitty. She's like pushing stuff around the desk here to say, hey, I'm right
Don't
here.
talk about old people.
You talking about me? She gave me that F you look. Mm-hmm. She's like, Daddy, tail's wagging. Yeah, she's not happy with me talking about old people, the old stuff. But it's a fragile situation. If there's someone in your life that's a little older, take those steps. Maybe get an Alexa, because I'm sure if you said, which I'm surprised it didn't just beep at me now. But if you're in a room where you could say that, I'm sure there's some emergency services that could be requested.
Yep.
If there's those little push buttons that people used to have, I fall.
Medical alert.
Can't get up.
Yeah, they still have those.
Get those things, man. You never know.
Yeah.
My grandpa took a slip fall or whatever and spent a few hours, but somebody who spent like 5 days.
5 days.
Like, holy hell, man.
Yeah. She's lucky to be alive.
I'm getting her an Alexa.
She was unconscious.
Oh, well, probably Alexa wouldn't help that.
No. Or the life alert thing.
Dang.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Like unheard of crazy.
I wonder if we just went away for 5 days if somebody would call us. We should do that. Just
see if somebody comes get us?
Yeah, we'll just disconnect for 5 days and see if the police don't bust down our door.
Okay. Well, now they will. Now they would.
It was me here naked.
I wonder who would actually I wonder who would actually get into the apartment. If we just hunkered down in here and didn't answer the phone.
It was a social experiment. Didn't you listen to the podcast?
Yeah. It wouldn't. I don't know.
Now something's going to happen and then was going to come find us.
I know, right? Because they're going to be like, those silly people. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to fall for it.
You'll see them at UFAM. Just playing. Just playing. But relationships, though, they can be tricky, but they're amazing, and everybody wants to have that special someone to feel love and to be loved. Just be careful with it, because just be careful.
Yeah. And to be able to be, and this is directed towards you, to be with somebody that you can share your recovery with. And for us, we are celebrating it together as a couple. But just as long as you're with somebody who respects what you're doing with your life is all that really matters, and supports you in your decision to do that, and gives you an environment in a life that is conducive to you, and to be able to make that happen and keep it going strong. That's important.
Yeah, and to be with someone who's going to give you that last iced tea, mixed berry iced tea is what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the last one. I said sure, so you have it. You like it.
I do like it.
You're my wife, and I love you, and I want you to have it.
Thank you.
So I give it to you.
Thank you.
Give you that mixed berry lemonade. No, iced tea.
Iced tea.
Sorry, I'm getting all confused now. My mind's going other places, but you're right. Eden, thanks. It feels good, and I love you.
I love you too, babe.
All right, so go puke now after listening to this. You're like, oh God,
oh
this
my God,
making me sick. Ugh.
Love birds.
But I mean, if you took something out of it, that's cool. If you're in a relationship looking for one, I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a therapist, not a doctor. I'm just throwing out some real world life experience, that stuff that I've went through, stuff that I've seen my friends go through, and I want to congratulate Justin and April if they're going to take this next step to do whatever. With them being together and both in recovery, and
yeah,
they care about each other.
They do.
That's a huge factor when it comes to relationships. Make sure you care about the person. Those are your feelings.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. UFAM, more on that. Like I said, in the next few days, you're going to see pretty cool, awesome stuff. Yeah, I put it together. That's okay. Mm-hmm. I haven't even put it together yet. I know it's going to be awesome, so I can say that.
Yeah.
And
you're starting to sound better.
The future. Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow I can cut the little stuff that I was going to do just for them.
Still a little bit snuffly.
Yeah.
But
tomorrow hopefully it'll be on the way.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Watch for that. Spreaker. I talked about that earlier. You remember hearing that. So if you don't, we'll go back and rewind it, because I'm not going to say it again.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Night, everybody.
See ya.
Thank Thanks for listening to another episode of the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen on the 217 Recovery app. Download the app and rate us in your app store.